TIAA is on a mission. Why? Because 54% of Black Americans don't have enough savings to retire. So in collaboration with big-name artists like Wyclef Jean, TIAA released Paper Right, new music inspiring a new financial future. With 100% of streaming sales going to a nonprofit that teaches students how to invest. Stream Paper Right now and help close the gap.
The Waco History Podcast is sponsored by Brotherwell Brewery on historic Bridge Street in Waco.
Welcome to the Waco History Podcast. We're going to air for you over the next few months a special series of Waco History Living Stories. These were segments that were originally aired on KWBU here in Waco. They were produced by the Institute for Oral History editor, Michelle Holland, and narrated by two fabulous narrators, Louis Maze and Kim Patterson. And so these highlight oral histories from the collection of the Institute for Oral History at Baylor University, which I direct, which has been around since 1970 and has over 1,000 interviews related to Waco and McLennan County history. And we're happy to highlight those here.
Cross the Brazos at Waco, ride hard, that'll make it by dawn.
Veterans Day, or as it was originally called, Armistice Day, was a federal holiday declared in 1938. This living story talks about some of its history.
This is Living Stories, featuring voices from the collections of the Baylor University Institute for Oral History. I'm Louis Maze. The GI Bill is a term often associated with the years immediately following World War II, but it has existed in some form or fashion since then. A revamped version approved by Congress in 2008, known as the post-9/11 GI Bill, has given new life to the program and increased the number of veterans on college campuses throughout the country. Brandon Ewing served in the Marine Corps for 5 years and entered Baylor University in 2009 on the new GI Bill to pursue a bachelor's degree in economics and international studies. He describes his experiences as a student veteran in a 2011 interview.
I purposefully gave up my college-age years, I guess typical college-age years, to go into the military and to do that. But those years are formative, and they still make you who you are. And so, I still went through the same kind of thing in the military. So when I come out of the military and go into college, then I'm put back with people that are just going through that. So I always feel like I walked back into, it's not like high school, but I always felt like I kind of went back into that. It's great to be older and to have experience. When I was in high school, I was an A and B student, but I could have done a lot better. I could have pushed myself a lot harder. I understand that now. So there's a lot of advantages to being older and to being here and doing it. In a lot of ways, people always say, if I knew then what I know now, I kind of get that. I kind of am in that position, which is great.
Lieutenant Colonel Matt Perko came to Baylor in 2010 with 20 years in the Air Force and enrolled in the master's program in information systems with a security emphasis. In his second semester at Baylor, he reflected on his return to the university setting.
Having lived in Italy for 3 years, my wife and I were both able to learn the language, so I've become involved. I'm the vice president of the Italian club here on campus. I'm secretary of the Graduate Business Association. I think the students here, for the most part, are here to really learn and challenge themselves a little bit. Undergrads are always going to be undergrads, and that's going to mean some differences in the approach. But I think that, honestly, being an older student in this setting, even in the undergraduate classes, it gives a certain different perspective. Some of the professors have a tough time dealing with that because you have more practical experience than they do in certain areas.
Yes.
It kind of scares them a little bit. But I think the kids get something out of hearing, oh, there's someone who's been there, done that, as opposed to just the esoteric nature of academia.
Yes.
Yeah, there's the real world and then there's academia. We have to pull the two together a little bit more, but I think that I can add something to that by being here. And Baylor's given back a lot to me too. I've enjoyed my time here and I enjoy what I do.
Perko explains what he sees as the benefit of having student veterans at colleges and universities.
I mean, it sounds a little cliche to say it, but I think the caliber of students that you get when they've had military experience of any kind is going to be slightly different and slightly higher than a normal undergraduate coming directly out of a high school. That sounds pretentious a little bit, but I think it's true.
In 2012, both Ewing and Perko graduated with their respective degrees. The post-9/11 GI Bill has undergone some changes since it was introduced, but is still going strong. This fall semester of 2013, Baylor has approximately 100 student veterans attending classes.
Ride hard, that'll make it by dawn.
Thanks for listening to the Waco History Podcast. Like what you heard? Subscribe, rate, and review our show on iTunes so we can reach more listeners. You can find show notes and info on every episode at wacohistorypodcast.com, and more info on Waco's past at wacohistory.org. Our theme music, used with permission, is Cross the Brazos at Waco, performed by the late Billy Walker. For more info on Billy's music, go to billywalker.com. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
When I reach San Antonio.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.